Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So I just woke up and I'm not at where I am usually, as you guys can see from the background. So in this video itself, I'm gonna wish all my viewers a happy Lunar New Year if you're celebrating the New Year's itself, and we're gonna run through Valka. So Valka got released on the VN server, so let's take a look at like her kit itself and then pull for one copy to playtest. So that will be for this video itself. So this is Valka's braid up right here. Let's take a look at the kit. Okay, so Phantom Slasher is the ultimate, applies a stack of panic to an enemy with her normal attacks, lasting 10 seconds, and after 4 stacks the enemy is struck with a sudden fear for battle, falling into a panic state for 10 seconds and losing 10 haste. So that is the round mark under the enemy based on the showcase from the character teaser as well as the trailer itself. Okay, so Valka can only cast Blooming Terror on adjacent enemies who are in a panic state, and this skill consumes energy and removes the enemy's panic state, stunning them while executing 2 powerful slashes, each dealing true damage. Oh, this is interesting to be honest. Right, it's based on the enemy's max HP, although there's obviously a cap, like which is determined by Valka states obviously. If not, like one copy of Valka can just like do massive damage, because if you don't cap, you just deal damage based on the enemy's HP. Then for example, if the boss has a lot of HP, then this skill is gonna be pretty bonkers. Yeah, so pretty impressive skill over here. To be really honest, target's max HP is not, I think it's fine. Like it's just not like an endless thing I would think of. Like endless is usually like percentage of target's lost max HP. So that's that. But then still seems really good, and especially where it's true damage, right? So PvP is going to be really impressive. So during this period, Valka is unaffected and can only use this skill on the same enemy once every 6 seconds. So you can reduce this this value by like your ultimate power. So upwards to 4 ultimate power, which is minus 2.4 seconds. So you can use this skill every 3.6 seconds if you do use your ultimate power upgrade from the charms. Okay. So increase in level increases the percentage of the max HP, which increases your damage. Okay. To be really honest, it's actually quite, I mean, obviously if the enemy is a boss, it's gonna hit super hard, right? And cap at 800% is massive. And it's each slash, by the way. Yeah, so if the enemy has a lot of HP, it's like, if you do like 800% of Valka's attack and then 800% of Valka's attack, that's like 1600%. That's like one of the highest percentage value to date. But it's still subjective. Like obviously it's dependent on enemy's max HP, but still it is impressive if you just look at it from like the percentage attack value from Valka's side. Yeah, so that's Phantom Slasher. Death Loon Scheme. So this is the 3-part ability. So there's this 3 ability, Soul Slicer. When there is more than one adjacent enemy, consumes 3 energy to deliver 2 slashes, each dealing damage. Okay, so this is the AoE skill. Racking Blade. When there is only one adjacent enemy, consumes energy to perform a slash dealing damage and leaps into the air to deliver a powerful slash dealing even more damage while knocking them down. Okay. Restless Chase is the chasing skill. So when there are no adjacent enemies, Valka consumes 150 energy to roll towards the nearest enemy within 3 tiles, dodging high arcing projectiles from normal attacks and gaining a shield that blocks 220% damage. Okay, so deals additional damage. So increase to level 4 increases the damage output of all these skills over here. So this is a 3 different ability skill based on the situation. Okay. So to be really honest, I think the Restless Chase as well as the Wrecking Blade is actually really good. Yeah, because you have like a little bit of utility to the skill, and you are able to gain some survivability by either knocking the enemy down or gaining a shield yourself. Yeah, so on top of the damage, like on top of the movement, right? Movement is important for her because being a melee unit, you might get kited. So like if the enemy jumps around with Restless Chase, you can run after them. For example, like Vala, right? Valka is a Graveborn that might want to chase after Vala, or maybe chase after Merrily or Corinne, depending on the situation. So that's that. Now, Spectral Bulwark at the start of battle gains a shield that blocks 20%, so this is based on Valka's HP, damage for each ally within 1 tile up to a maximum of 72%. So maximum of 3 allies for the maximum shield. And Valka increases the attack speed of these allies by 50 until the end of battle. Okay, so maximum of 90% when you upgrade it to level 4. Pretty good defensive shield at the start of battle to ensure you don't get nuked down by bursts. Your focus increases attack speed. Okay. So shock. Riposte. Okay. Upon taking ultimate skill damage from an enemy within her attack range, Valka instantly blocks the attack and becomes immune to the damage. Instantly blocks the attack and becomes immune to the damage. Then cast ultimate on the attacker without consuming energy or removing the enemy's panic status. And instead, she recovers energy. Oh, wow, that's actually good. Because her second skill requires her to consume some energy. Although her ultimate doesn't consume energy. Right, so you start off with 1000. There's a 0-second cooldown. But you can only cast this ultimate on enemies with the panic state. So the energy is primarily used for the Death Loom scheme right here. Okay, so no ultimate usage here. I mean, no energy usage. Okay, so while casting unaffected and can only use this skill on the same enemy once every 10 seconds. Okay, so not the most... Okay, against bossing, I think every 10 seconds is possible because usually the boss don't cast their ultimates that frequently. So you should be able to cast this skill whenever it's off cooldown against Dream Realm bosses. Against PvP, there are certain units where their ultimates are pretty fast. So maybe that's where you can't continuously chain block them. Like I think Iron's ultimate actually comes online within like that more than 10-second mark. I think 15 seconds if he just naturally charge his energy without support from other allies. So that's that. But I think use this skill on the same enemy once every 10 seconds apply more so for PvP side. Yeah, for the bossing side or normal AFK stages, shouldn't be that big of a deal because I don't remember enemies being able to spam ultimates within 10 seconds. So this is specifically blocking ultimate skill damage as well as the attack itself. Okay, so increase in levels increases energy recovery. Okay, and within 10 seconds of cutting skill, increase attack speed by 80 and life drain by 60, further increasing DPS as well as survival. Okay, so that's for the EX weapon skill. And the enhanced force skill, when shield granted by Spectral Bulwark is active, recovers 50 extra energy from launching normal attacks. Okay, so this self-recovery for more sustain on the second skill itself. So that's pretty much it for the preview of the skill set. So without further ado, let us pull for one copy of Valka and do some simple play testing for her kit. Let's go. Okay guys, I think she's quite crazy because I did a brief testing with her before recording because of my settings. But Valka's ability, right, is really good for bossing right now, at the very least at the current stage in game, because her abilities over here is the Sonya ability with the damage as well as the debuff on the boss. So that's that. And then if we were to go into the Dream Realm performance side, so I did some testing for the AFK stage side. We're going to showcase what will happen if you use her at 1 copy. So obviously she's not like good at 1 copy because her shielding is dependent on her HP stats, and obviously she does okay in terms of surviving the initial barrage, but since her survival as well as her damage output is dependent on her stat line itself, I don't think she's that good at 1 copy, at least not for like AFK stage pushing side. So that's that. Okay, but if you take a look at her abilities right here, because her abilities are based off the max HP of the enemies, there is a potential that she deals quite a bit of damage even at just 1 copy against the boss. And I did a testing and I'm super duper impressed by the numbers. So let's run the numbers for you guys to see. So right here we have 2 records. Okay, one with a fully built out Sonya right here. Okay, this is the damage distribution. This is 1 copy Valka in the place of Sonya. So not only am I losing a major buff on 2 of my units, I'm also getting like lesser survival of Valka right here. But you can take a look at her damage number at 1 copy. It is impressive. So let's take a look at the replay and see how she performs here. Okay, so she charges at the boss, right? The debuff, it's still active on the boss. So she will then be able to carry her second ability through with the debuff mark on the enemy, as well as cast her ultimate. So once you get like the 4 stack on the boss itself, you should be able to actually use the ultimate on the boss for you to do that massive damage. Okay, so against this boss, I think what I'll do later on is after this recording, I will get her to Supreme Plus and then test out how her Supreme Plus abilities actually work. But if you just take a look at like her performance in this Dream Realm boss so far, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive considering she's only a 1 copy unit. So that's that. Let's go through it 2 times. So she can survive quite well even at just 1 copy. And on top of that, do pretty decent amount of damage. So she could be a budget friendly beginner unit that you can go for if you are slightly strapped on resources to trust. Try to amp up your damage from there. Yeah, so her skill is pretty simple, just her slashing and then using her combo series for her to get the panic state on the boss and then use her ultimate for more damage. So for the ultimate pairing part, we will wait for the Supreme Plus testing later. So I'll get her to Supreme Plus off stream or off recording and then talk about my experience using her at S Plus later on. So stay tuned for that. So that's pretty much it for this showcase in terms of her performance in the Dream Realm side at just 1 copy. Not that good for AFK stage side at 1 copy because she doesn't survive that well, even though you have Spectral Bulwark, but because you are such a low stated unit, the shield is not that big, so you still die pretty fast. So that's my initial impression of Valka at 1 copy, as well as a simple kit showcase for this unit. Thank you very much for tuning in. Stay tuned for the Supreme Plus testing later, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.